I'm just outside Jerusalem University College Institute of the Holy Land Studies. It's the American Institute, Protestant Institute, and that beautiful building includes a cemetery. You see that it's honor to Bishop Gobat, who's buried there too, like Conrad Chick. So many scholars from oh yes, thank you. It's such an amazing cemetery, because so many of my, in a way, rabbi, I'm talking about Christians, Protestants, who taught me a lot of Jerusalem in the 19th century. Gobat, Conrad Chick, that without him, I think we cannot survive in the matter of studying in architecture. I mean, he did so many things, and so many others. It's a peaceful place. Now let's move to Europe. Lots of the Jewish cemeteries in Europe have been destroyed by people who hate the Jews. It's not that we got used to it. We never will get used to it. But to have a Jewish fundamentalist who will enter to cemetery, not a Jewish one, this time it's a Christian one, and destroy it, that is too much for me. The group that you see here are the first of many groups that will come to tell the Christian we are sorry. Things like that never, I mean, are so strange for us. But in reality, two religious Jews came to Mount Zion, entered to the cemetery that we're now entering into it. That includes so many important figures, but it doesn't matter. For example, it can be the war graves as well here. They enter here and destroy tombs just because those people are Christians. This is horrible for me. That is something that I cannot relate to, and no one can relate to. Oops.
Well, the video, your camera doesn't capture your faces, but the good work of the police right now is there's lots of cameras around, so they've been able to identify. So they have not been apprehended yet, but the police are working very hard with us, and I know with Barbara as well, to find them.
It's part of the diaspora issue?
I'm sorry?
Are they part of the diaspora issue? You don't know?
I do not know. Barbara's going to say something here. This is a very famous tombstone that was defaced, and we have lots of video footage, and some of it shows the violence on this tombstone here that lasted for quite some time. Actually, they worked very hard on this one. But Barbara, why don't you tell us a little bit of the history here?
This is the headstone of the grave of Gobat, who was the second Anglican Lutheran bishop in the country. So, like Oliver already said, I was surprised on how much violence they used to especially destroy this headstone. And I was talking to the police yesterday, and they said no chance that they would have known who this grave is from. But since they came in and had like half an hour of violence on all the gravestones, and this I think was one of the first ones, right?
This one has a picture of a head.
Yes,
yeah.
so I do think they knew what they were doing, because for 30 minutes to go on a graveyard, if you do it like bypassing, you would do it like on one grave, two graves, okay, but it's 28 altogether that have been destroyed.
Oh.
And this one, like I said, was the first one and obviously the most difficult to destroy. But it's very well on footage, so we hope to, how do you say that, apprehend the guys who did it soon. And I'm also very happy about the support of the police. Also was very surprising that they would seriously follow up, and that's what they're doing. So now this, especially this grave, because it did have a head on it and it did have a special thing, will be very difficult to reconstruct. Plus it's a loss on an historical headstone, which is more than terrible and a very bad situation.
Because it was a bust, so in their mind, the second commandment doesn't allow busts. Like the head of.
Thanks.
Yeah, I cannot trust.
Exactly right. So they actually, one of the guys video recorded the whole activity, and the action taken against this headstone lasted about 25 seconds. They stood there and repeatedly smashed it, and they recorded it on their personal camera as well. So,
We get a lot of cameras
from our
here.
video footage, we watched them do the whole thing. You can see the guy pull his phone out and record it. I mean, I'm assuming I guess I should say,
Yes,
I'm assuming there's a recording based on the position of his camera. Maybe he's taking pictures, I don't know. Maybe he's, shall we walk?
Yes.
Okay, let's walk a little bit this way.
Some Zahi. Zahi. I'm actually asking forgiveness from, I think, 99% of the Jews in the world and in Israel. More of those tombstones that have been destroyed. Oh gosh, can't believe it. I wish that they will catch them. It's unbelievable, they destroy most of it. Oh no. Oh
There's much
no.
to say other than it's here and this is severely damaged.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So the damage. This is work. This is work, and we. I think what's important to note is they weren't just smashing crosses or Christian symbols, but they went to town. They did a lot of hard work on some of these graves for quite some time. They picked up pieces and really worked to smash. And it's not just tipping over a gravestone. It's really, I mean, we actually have some crosses in the cemetery that have pock marks because they threw rocks at it repeatedly, but the cross didn't actually fall over or break. So they really wanted to express their anger and hatred. Who is this? I don't know who this is actually. Is it one of the Lutheran parishioners? I'm not sure who this is.
Neither am I.
This was one that had extensive damage on it. Many of these people were buried in the 1800s and the 1900s. And the Anglican Church has complete plot coverage over everybody, but this particular person, I don't know who it was. Conrad Schick's grave was not desecrated. His grave, by the way, is just a couple over from where Bishop Gobat is. Some of the Palestinian police officers who were killed in the King David bombing of 1947, 2 of their graves were desecrated and headstones smashed. And then a third Palestinian police officer's grave was also smashed, but he did not die in the King David Hotel bombing. He died in 1933. We can keep wandering through.
Please.
And if anybody would like to say anything, I don't need to.
see any inscriptions in Hebrew. I'll take a picture of it and I will try to figure out who's that person that they destroy at the tomb of this. Oops. Excuse me, please. Thank you. And there's Hebrew inscription here too. I'll try. היי, לא רציתי להפריע לך.
סליחה.
לא, אתה בסדר, לא, דיברתי אליו. אתה לא הפרעת לי בכלל. המצלמה הזאת מצליחה להגיע לכל מקום.
של מי הכיף?
הם לא יודעים, אבל אני צילמתי את העברית. I took a picture of the Hebrew inscription and tried to figure out. We are at Mount Zion, and look what's happening here. This is something that was planned by crazy people. It makes me so sad and makes me so angry. A minute. I cannot understand people like that. Sadly, this time in our government are a little bit extremists. Oh gosh, extremist people who's doing something, who's actually, I believe, might be even happy. Unbelievable.
We will begin. We are going to work with talking to the church officials and leaders to see how they would like to do that. And obviously, I would hope that there'd be opportunity for people of Israel to also help.
Yes,
with
I will be more than happy.
Bishop Hossam, the Archbishop Hossam, who is German, and the German Lutheran as well. Both church Archbishop Hossam. Yeah, he was here yesterday. And he's technically, well, with the German Lutherans, both of them, yeah. They share it, exactly. And so we would need to work with them, and obviously Barbara and Michael, and discuss how we want to go. We would cherish, I think I'd speak on behalf of that, we would cherish assistance. It's going to cost money as well as time. We'll begin talking about that. Yeah. In any way our college can help, we would gladly want to be able to help assist. Yeah.
Let us know, and I'm sure
of course
many people here and around us would like to help.
Yeah.
So let us know.
So there are, as Barbara mentioned earlier, we have the police. Actually, our friend Atef is here now.
He's here, yeah.
Yeah,
so
he's here. It's great to see him here. He's a dear friend of mine. He's worked very hard with us over the couple years I've known him. But we counted, Atef and our personnel counted over 30 graves that were newly damaged. I know there was I know there was violence here in 2013. Many of you were here and joined with us then as well, which greatly appreciative of that. But the fresh damage, there was over 30 and that we counted. I think it was 31. And most of them are on this level. There's a couple up there, but if you'd like to get there, we can look at them. The extent of the damage, though, is primarily in this strip over here, where we just walked by, and then up front, where Bishop Gobat says there's lots of damage there. So if you want to just take your time to walk around and be here, feel free. And as you are feeling led to leave, I don't know what your schedule is after this. I do ask that if you plan to go, I know that you had told me maybe going to the police.
No.
Yeah, I really want, they already feel plenty of pressure, and they're working very hard. I'm very appreciative of what they're doing. I think I echo what you would say, Barbara. So just, please don't touch anything here. They're still taking fingerprints and DNA analysis. That was part of the reason that maybe there was a chance you wouldn't be able to enter. But just take care to be here, and as you have been already, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
If there's anything I can do to assist you, or Barbara or Michael, I know they're glad to help you. I don't know, Barbara, if you want to say anything else, or Michael.
Well, we're very happy for your solidarity.
Yes.
Thank you very much, because I think it is very, not only to be seen on news, like it was, the video footage was on the news 2 days ago,
Yes.
but to show also the Israeli public that there is support from Israelis themselves that do not like what other Israelis, probably Israelis, are doing. That's very important to us.
Just as important as the video footage. This is just as important, if not more.
From my point of view, it is more important. Video footage is within the news, you see that, video footage, blah, blah, okay, gone, seen. But to show the support of Israelis themselves, that's to us more important.
אנחנו רוצים שלום בירושלים.
Amen.
עיר שלום.
Thank you.
That's all I
We
know.
want peace in Jerusalem, city of peace.
We would, again, thank you very much for opening the cemetery. It's really very important for us. And I know it's a cemetery, and but I would like everyone here just to conclude this event, thinking together, Mi Haish Echafetz Chaim. This is our response. So let's think together.
אני רוצה ברשותכם להוסיף משהו. I'd like to add something. Okay? I'm Arik. I live here 52 years on this mountain. It's not the first time. It happened a few times already. And I want all of us to understand that there's a community. There was a community here, actually, which lasted 400 years, of the Dajani family. They lived here, and there's a meeting. There are meetings of residents of this mountain, including Oliver, from time to time. And to these meetings, we have the Dajani family coming. All they have left on this mountain is a little graveyard. And the thing that happens here happens there all the time. A month ago, the same thing.
We're talking about a Muslim graveyard.
So I wanted to tell all of us this as well, okay? The Dajani family is a beautiful family.
You know them.
I also had an idea some time ago that on each building will be the name of the family who lived there. Well, at the end, there's a thing like this in the graveyard of the Dajani.
By the way, next to me is David Pelegi. He is the Anglican pastor of Christ Church. And so we have the common ground here, and he also came to see you and
thank you all for coming. And we have been seeing thank you all for coming. And on the ground, we've been seeing some things that are very worrying for the past few years. And of course, this is just one more incident in a unfortunate pattern of events. I hope that all of us can eventually work together to not just fix the cemetery, but to fix the law of the state, which will be very harsh on hate crimes, spitting, defacing religious property of any religion, graveyards, etc., etc. I think, as I understand it, the hands of the judges are tied. Yes, not only
more so from today.
It's true.
This is another thing. I mean, I'm not a citizen here, but my son is, and my grandson is, and as a minority, an unpopular minority, this is also worrisome when you don't have an independent judiciary. But that's another issue. Okay, but thank you all.
Thank you.
How do we get to the meeting?
Oops, sorry. Then let's climb up to see the cemetery. It's a beautiful cemetery. King David tomb, and the room of the Last Supper, it's just at the other side of that wall. Looks like soldier cemetery from 1947. Police, those are the police, Palestinian police who actually died here. Destroy the symbols of Christianity. That is so sad. It's actually destroying every symbol of a different religion. Very easy to enter through here, and maybe that's the entrance that I entered through. It's more than said. Down there you can see a archaeological find. The Dormition church, you see the tower of it. This is where the tomb of King David and the room of the Last Supper and the House of Mary located. Horrible disaster. I wish that we won't see it anymore, but sadly, it's not the first time. My hand is shaking now. Remember, he mentioned Konochik, Protestant German guy who came to here to help the Christians and actually became to be one of the more major archaeological scholar that dug Israel and built so many of it. This is his tomb. You can see that in a lot of the Protestant tombs you can see Hebrew, because there's a huge connection between Judaism and Christianity. The memory of the just, Zahi Tzadik Libracha, is blessed. The memory of the just is blessed. This is so sad for me. It's so sad for 95% of the Israelis, and sad for 99% of the Jews all over the world as well. I wish that nothing like that will happen again. Thank you for being with me.